Hello and welcome to the HP Engineering video podcast series. It's been a while, so to those of you who have not been with us here before, I'd just like to welcome you. My name is Brandon Pinkerton and I'm the owner of HP Engineering. Today I have with me Heather France. Heather is our new federal contracting specialist, and as a little bit of history here, HP Engineering, we've been in business for about 15 years now, and we've been successful, and most of that has been in regional work and working with local architects on unique project types. And because we are a minority-owned business for a long time, it has been a thought or an idea to get involved in federal contracting opportunities. And we just haven't done that up to this point, and a lot of that has had to do with the challenges that to overcome, getting approved, getting vetted. There's certainly a lot that goes into the approval process of getting the work, and I think those barriers have kind of held us back in the past. But with Heather coming on board, we have someone who understands how to get this going, and we're very excited, Heather, to have you on our team, and would like for you to just kind of talk a little bit about what these opportunities are and what we may have in front of us.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of opportunities with the federal government. There are constantly contracts coming out for different facilities that require what we do with MEP and structural. These things could be facilities like a new warehouse, airplane hangar, a new hospital that may need to go up, a renovation for a hospital, making way possibly for new medical equipment, new technology to go in that facility, firearms simulators for training that the Department of Defense might need, even new technology needed for the Space Force. So it's
Okay.
lots of opportunity.
And I think I've always understood that there were a lot of opportunities. That's the thing that people would tell me a lot. Brandon, there is so many opportunities out there for a minority-owned business. I'm like, great, and that's great. So there's always like this compelling reason for why we should be doing it. But the place where I kind of always got held up, we would get held up in the past, was the how. So tell me a little bit about the how. How does a minority-owned engineering firm get involved in the work?
Well, the first step to get involved in it is to get vetted. And
Okay.
by being vetted means that you go and obtain a GSA contract or GSA schedule for the services that you offer. And that means really exactly it. You've been vetted. They've gone through, they've checked what you're doing, they've checked how your business is set up, they've made sure that you are there to stay. So that's the first step. And there are lots of firms out there that are architectural firms or MEP firms that are on GSA. What sets us apart from them is that we're small and we are minority owned. We have those two different set asides, and that brings so many specific contracting opportunities available just to us in our niche that are not typically available to the majority of the people in our field.
So you mentioned set-asides, and let's talk about that for just a second, because I know that's a word that's used a lot, or a phrase that's used a lot when we talk about federal government work. But what are set-asides, and how is that an advantage to us?
Okay, so a set aside is a set aside of federal funding. Every year there could be a certain amount that they are allocating to federal projects and federal acquisitions, and they set aside to make way for the little guy, for the small business to still get ahead and be able to work with the federal government. So they put that money aside that will be spent only on those small business types, and those things can be small service disabled veteran owned businesses. This could be a woman owned business. This could be a hub zone, historically underutilized business zone. It could also be an 8A or minority business. So
Okay.
there's lots of opportunities for us to get in, but when you really start to narrow that down and into our set asides and the field that we're in with our statuses, we are just so lucky to be doing this.
So there are opportunities available, and there are opportunities available to us specifically because of our set-aside designations that HP has as a small minority-owned business. So those are out there. Where do we find the opportunities? Where do we go to figure out that there is a need for what we're doing?
Okay. Well, there's still, SAM.gov. Everybody knows that. You
Right.
can go on to SAM.gov. It's
Mhm.
made available to the public. You can pay for your subscriptions to different bidding websites and join those to have those found available to you. We still have access to those.
Okay.
But what we did gain access to is to GSA eBuy. And
Okay.
that is where the federal government, these contracting officers, these purchasers are going in specifically to this site and making opportunities and contracts available to GSA schedule holders for the goods and services that they're needing. So that is an added bonus by having that GSA schedule that just wasn't available to us and really is not available to very many people in our market.
Okay. So we know where we can go to find the opportunities, and as I understand set aside pieces, that a set aside is a portion, and in some ways a smaller portion of the bigger pie that's being offered every year. The government is spending billions of dollars, and they're setting aside a certain amount for small businesses. What kind of opportunities are there for a company like us to get involved in some of the bigger projects that are out there as well? I mean, they're not just for the big, Jacobs Engineerings and those kind of things of the world. How do we get involved in the big stuff?
Okay, we get involved with the big stuff with contract teaming agreements.
Okay.
So what that does is it allows two firms to come together. That opens up a door for us when we have these large firms that have no set asides. They don't have minority status. They're not service disabled, and they're looking to fulfill their requirement because they're required to do so much business with the government utilizing these small business firms.
Okay.
So they're looking for us, and we have contract teaming agreements or CTAs made available to us so that this prompts them to want to work with us to obtain a contract, and we can share our history. They may be really great at what they do, but we can bring in our aspect to it, and almost like teaming or joint venturing for the purpose of obtaining that contract. We're able to work together through that CTA and really grow the business, grow our past performance, and grow HP.
So it's mutually beneficial.
Absolutely.
It's good for everybody. Okay. All right. Outside the service piece, and this was kind of interesting that you've talked to me about a little bit, but outside of just offering engineering services, I understand that with our GSA contract, we have some product opportunities available to us as well that I don't think really have been in my thought process as we've been pursuing federal work, but it's nothing small. It's a pretty big deal as well.
Yeah, it is. We offer engineering services, and that is a wonderful thing to have. And we have our GSA schedule and our contract teaming agreements made available to us. But the way the government allows that money to flow each year, it kind of comes in cycles. Uh-huh. So to make up for those cycles and make sure that HP is profitable, we are bringing in those profit sales. Those are going to be things that are related to the fields that we specialize in: mechanical, electrical, plumbing, products. These could also be things that later down the road are related to a design bid build or design build that could involve interiors types items that we're working on with a architectural firm with their interior department. So there are all kinds of things, and we all know that when a project happens, there are things that we miss. There's oversight on them. Right. They may not have enough lights for their facility. They may not have had enough conduit. Right. This is going to allow them to reach out to somebody who is familiar with the products, familiar with the application of it, and be able to buy that from an expert instead of going straight to a manufacturer and hoping that what they're getting is the right thing.
Helps make the procurement process a little easier.
Absolutely.
Because there's trusted people on the other end of it.
That's right.
Well. Okay. Well, you've given us a lot of information, so thank you very much for sharing with me and certainly for the benefit of those watching this. And I just wanted to say thank you again for listening in here. If you have some specific questions about contracting with the federal government and maybe ways that we can help you, or you want to get involved with us at some level in where we are headed, I encourage you to just give us a call or email us. Email Heather, because she certainly knows a lot more about it than I do. But we are very excited about where this is headed for HP Engineering and this next chapter. So thank you, and we will talk to you next time.